Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about how Nano Dimension is collaborating with Fraunhofer Institute to create the next generation of 3D printers. Then we will discuss what is going on with the NNDM stock price and why the Nano Dimension CEO says that short sellers are making the stock fall. Next, we will go over the newest updates regarding how valuable the additive manufacturing market currently is right now and how much it will be worth by 2026. Then lastly, we will go over the evidence of why Nano Dimension is a great long-term hold for investors. Go and press the like button right now if you want more of these stock news update videos. Comment down below if you want to get out of Nano Dimension, or if you are a long-term holder of Nano Dimension, turn on all subscription notifications to stay informed. And now let's get right into today's stories. Nano Dimension is an industry leader in additive manufacturing, especially for electronic devices and PCBs or printed circuit boards, and they announced recently that they are partnering with the Fraunhofer Institute for Manufacturing, Engineering, and Automation. This is a huge collaboration effort because Fraunhofer has 75 institutions in Germany, and each of those institutes hold hundreds of extremely well-qualified scientists and engineers who have an annual research budget of 2.8 billion euros, which equates to around 3.3 billion US dollars. The focus of Fraunhofer IPA's research is to solve technical problems in the manufacturing industry. This includes working on artificial intelligence manufacturing and additive manufacturing, which has direct overlap with Nano Dimension's goals, technology, and research. However, this collaboration will not be permanent and is currently set to last only 2 years. Nano Dimension and Fraunhofer will be directly working with each other on autonomous fabrication technology and freeform 3D printing. The head of the additive manufacturing department at Fraunhofer IPA had to say this about their collaboration with NNDM, and I quote, "This brain trust will allow both parties to instantly analyze and improve processes by sharing ideas, data, and expertise as we develop the next generation of 3D inkjet printing with the goal of creating new and better processes and integrations for the ultra-accurate printing of new high-performance electronic devices." Nano Dimension is a valued and trusted partner, and we are very excited to begin this new partnership. End quote. Nano Dimension, in my view, seems to be getting the better side of this deal, which is fantastic for NNDM stock investors. The CEO of Nano Dimension also had to comment on this amazing collaboration and partnership, and he says this, and I quote, "We are very pleased to have the opportunity to cooperate and learn from the world-class engineers and scientists at Fraunhofer IPA. We can learn from both their successes and failures while contributing our expertise and knowledge as we work together to build an eco-friendly and intelligent distributed network of additive manufacturing, self-learning, and self-improving machines, which will deliver a superior return on investment to their owners as well as to Nano Dimension shareholders and other stakeholders." The NNDM stock price has been a bumpy ride for investors, but this partnership shows huge progress and potentially future breakthroughs. The overall investor interest in 3D printing stocks has increased thanks to Kathy Wood of ARK Invest, which has bought NNDM shares on a multitude of occasions, and she stands by her personal NNDM stock purchases. The company seems to be turning a corner here for the better, but the bad news is that 3D printing has not gone mainstream yet, so we will have to hold on and wait until that happens, which could take a few years. But with that being said, Nano Dimension has enough cash on hand to survive as a company until that happens. Even right now, they are focusing on the use cases of their 3D printers within the semiconductor industry. Lately, there has been plenty of tension between the US and China, so there are conversations that are currently happening right now that the US should bring back the semiconductor manufacturing industry from overseas so the US can reduce their reliance on other countries and create everything they need from within. This would lower the chances of supply chain issues, it would protect us from some geopolitical uncertainty, and it would add more jobs. Now, on the flip side of that argument, I'm sure that the products are going to be more expensive because the whole reason we are outsourcing it to other countries is because they can produce these things cheaper than we can. Now, as a stock, Nano Dimension should only be considered if you have proper risk management already in place, or if you are diversified with other industry-leading 3D printing stocks like Cathie Wood's favorite 3D printing stock, which is 3D Systems, ticker symbol DDD, or Stratasys, ticker symbol SSYS. And both of these companies have large customer bases and proven technology, so for risk management reasons, at minimum, I would split my money that I allocated for the 3D printing industry between these three stocks. The NNDM stock is currently priced at $6.30 because it keeps downtrending, then hitting support, and we get bounces back up. But according to this proprietary software system that takes into consideration fundamental factors, technical factors, analysts' price targets, and stock sentiment, the NNDM stock ranks 46% higher than all other stocks in the database. However, ideally, we would want that number above 50%. However, with new news coming out, especially that partnership that we talked about earlier, this number should increase. The NNDM CEO says this downtrend is due to traders prematurely selling this stock or because of short sellers. Here's a quote from the CEO, and he says this: "Short sellers are players in the market. Like everybody else, I respect them. They gamble, but our share price is not a reflection of how advanced we are in what we are doing." Nano Dimension's business development will be very surprising. It's not a grown, mature business. It'll go through inflection points that will cause its shares to jump. The CEO goes on to say, "My recommendation is don't try to time it. Make a decision. If your long-term investors hold buy, be in, and when your inflection point arrives, you will be riding with us." End quote. And I agree with the CEO. For the 3D printing industry, you should buy stocks and hold them, not wanting to get such quick returns so fast. This is a developing industry, so it's going to take some time before you get some good growth out of it. For instance, Nano Dimension in revenues was up 68% year over year, and for gross margins they were up 40% since the same period of 2020. Now, I'm personally happy for Nano Dimension's various partnerships and for their acquisitions because it puts them on a great trajectory towards profitability. And we also have to remember that Nano Dimension is in current negotiations with another company that they plan on acquiring. However, we don't know the exact date when this acquisition is going to be finalized. Nano Dimension's CEO and management have a very big picture view of what they want the company to be and how to get the company there, but it takes time. Nano Dimension has a similar big picture mentality as Cathie Wood of ARK Invest, who invests into rapidly growing and innovative industries, but it takes time before we can see the massive returns that this stock or Cathie Wood's ETFs can give us compared to the overall market. However, I do want to be clear because these massive growth potential stocks do not come without risks. For example, currently NNDM is trading at over 255 times their 12-month trailing sales. And from a current fundamental standpoint, that's not the best news. However, if you are betting on this stock's future growth potential, then that makes sense for you, especially if you have good risk management. But it seems that Nano Dimension is hitting one of those inflection points that we talked about earlier because they are ramping up their sales and marketing. And we see this because their sales and marketing expenses have risen $8.72 million. We also see Nano Dimension's general and administrative expenses going and rising up to $8.3 million, and their research and development expenses have now increased to $12.8 million, and these have all increased well over 300% from the same period of last year. Now, I personally think this spending is a good thing because their sales and marketing team will get more customers to buy their 3D printing machines, which costs them around $250,000 each, and their increase in research and development will allow Nano Dimension to create either improved products or new breakthrough printers. Also, these expenses are nothing because NNDM has around $1.55 billion worth of liquid assets on their balance sheet, so they can easily cover these costs. Nano Dimension is clearly still getting started and they need time to develop. The printed electronics market that Nano Dimension specializes in is also developing and needs time, because currently it's only worth around $592 million right now, and it's projected to be worth $2.4 billion by 2025. Now, I like NNDM, and I think they could be very profitable in the future, but I only own the stock through ARK Invest's ARKQ ETF, and I also own Cathie Wood's PRNT ETF. On top of that, I own 3D Systems stock directly. Currently, I am waiting for Nano Dimension to really blow my socks off or become a profitable company, and then I will invest directly into them, because right now, I would be taking on too much risk in my portfolio. NNDM stock is a very exciting play, but it's definitely only for long-term holders, and much of its value is in its intellectual property, which hasn't really fully manifested itself yet. But what do you all think? Comment your thoughts down below. Remember to like this video right now, turn on all subscription notifications to stay informed, and I will see you in the next YT video.